All right, folks, a great Friday to you. It's Good Friday today. And so may the God of Easter hear every of your prayer. I'm Citizen Jones. Today on the program, gunmen hit military base in Niger State, kill 5, just as General Atahiru vows to rebuild soldiers' fighting spirit and end insurgency and banditry. Governor Abiodun inaugurates Amotekun in Ogun State, commissions patrol vehicles and motorcycles, names Shoyinka, yes, the same Professor Shoyinka, Amotekun Super Marshal. And later on, we'll share this with you. Minister says Nigerians without the NIN risk between 7 and 14 years imprisonment. Okay, that's the news we got from the newsstands. I'm hanging out with Shola Oyewusi. Shall I get you?
Great meeting you.
Yeah. Ojewusi. But is there a difference?
A huge difference.
Oh, okay.
A huge difference. But it's a matter for another day.
Okay, okay. We also have Martins Oloja. Thank you. Martins talks about inside stuff. Okay, okay. The team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, let's go. You know, to say that gunmen, banditry, and Islamists are stealing all the headlines is an overtired or overused cliches. But as news people, we must report the news. The story is that gunmen have hit the military base in Alawa. I hope I got that right. That's in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. The facility there was set ablaze at about 2 in the morning yesterday after the men had just returned from a patrol. 5 soldiers plus some operatives of the Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense organization were not so lucky. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru has pledged to give the bandits hell as a way of buoying up the fighting spirit of his men. The big idea is to bring banditry and insurgency in the country to a halt. We cannot but wish him very well.
Well, I'll say, when you talk in terms of baptism of fire, Atahiru came into the very thick of the battle. It's just like they were waiting for him to be inaugurated, and then, you know,
hit the ground running.
That's the situation. But he's a soldier, and a soldier should be able to live up to that name as a general in the army.
Yeah.
You know, it's so unfortunate that, you know, we've been talking of actual terrorists, but the name bandit has now become, you know, I mean, it's something on the front burner of our search for a well-secured nation. And it's just unfortunate. But like we said, General Atahiru has already gotten his brief, you know. He has to face this head-on. What happened in Alawa, in Shiroro, is a direct confrontation, not only of the integrity of the Nigerian security forces. It's telling them that, you know, we're out to show that we're actually there.
Otherwise, enough is already too much.
It's too much. It's too much. So they have to take this thing headlong. It's a question of saying, you know, we have the capacity, we have the invisibility to be able to confront the Nigerian army going to a military base. You know, you used to think bandits were just there, you know, the short-time criminals, but now it's getting to a situation where it's a battle situation. And our military, whoever is the strategist there, must know now that the battle has changed. The strategy will have to change.
It's now or never. Martins, you know, the chief, Mr. President's chief spokesman, Garba Shehu, said, we're going to sieve the wheat from the chaff very, very shortly, right? Are we on the way there?
Well, definitely that wasn't the very first time we had that kind of promise like that. Even one governor, and specifically the governor of Zamfara State at the time, said that we're going to unveil some things that if we knew the people who were behind this thing would be shocked. he has not delivered. So,
In other words, he was going to name and shame.
and shame.
Name to shame.
But he hasn't delivered. But this, the chief of army staff talking now, promising, it's not also the very first time that an army chief had promised the nation that they were going to do this thing. This one now is just to raise some glimmer of hope that something was going to be done. But the nation is tired of this thing. Even before the president left for the United Kingdom, he charged them to fish out the arrowheads of whether insurgency or banditry, or, you know, they have so many names now, but they are criminals. They are all criminals.
Yeah, I agree.
But, you know, just like the script writer, they're stealing the headlines all the time. And our heart as citizens should go out to the military establishment. Because every time we hear that, oh, some soldiers have been killed, some police officers have been killed, they are our brothers, they are our sisters. And
Martins, what's the news?
You know,
report the news.
Yes, we report the news. We report the news, and they come into headlines, but it sends fear while other nations are discussing scientific discoveries, and while they are funding research to develop. This is what we read in our newspapers every day.
Every day.
And when recently, when some outfits released in a global context, university rating.
Okay.
Nigerian universities were not well rated. We established some within Africa.
Sorry.
This is you know, for development of a country cannot be measured by the power of prayer warriors.
And you have them, a legion of them here.
The development, yes. Prayer people have always been there.
Shola is laughing.
Yes, from foundation, we are celebrating today one truth that was kept in the grave more than 2,000 years ago. But after 3 days, there was resurrection. We are not diminishing the power of prayer by saying that, but we are saying that this is a time we should be funding, we should be budgeting for research to develop the most populous black nation on earth. This should not be
for instance,
story.
A vaccine to counter COVID-19. That's
the issue of vaccine, to follow up what Martin just said.
This is not a good story all the time.
We should be above all this by now. We've had a long history of development. Some of our, when you talk of the best brains around the world, whether in Nigeria, whether in the US, I had a Ghanaian pastor, you know, I would even describe, talking about Nigeria recently, that he was shocked that you have some of the best brains in the world, but you now have leaders who are just like dunces. It's unfortunate, but he was telling us some very inconvenient truth. But that you have to face those things. We deserve better than this. But we'll get there. But one thing on the ground about these guys, the president is a general, and he has put in motion a general who is his junior anyway, is the commander-in-chief. But when something like this happens, when bandits can brazenly go to a military base. Where you're supposed to have security and sack, then it calls to question a lot of things, and the commander-in-chief should be able to put up.
Yeah, shall I let's stay there a while. Martins, give me a moment. When the governor of Borno State suggested that there are people who gain by what's going on in our country. Do you side with him?
It's a professor. He knows what he was saying. You know, I mean, we have to give it to them. Sometimes I pity him. I wonder, you know, how you cope with the kind of experience you have from the classroom to the seat of power. Then you are fit. But I think the guy has really done some things that's worth commending. So when he says something like that, it's not frivolous. But, you know, it's business. What you are seeing in Zamfara, whether it's in Niger State, any other state of Nigeria, these people have the pecuniary reasons to be doing what they are doing. But it is not for us to say this is what they are doing. It is for us as a nation to be able to confront criminals and tell them that we cannot condone such things in a nation as big like this. Look at what is happening. Bandits are trying to get the Nigerian security system at their own game. And what is that? Surprise. If you're able to get to a military base and you're able to sack it, the surprise element that they use, to the extent that you could not even have marshal enough forces or power to be able to withstand or forestall, to the extent that from the story we're hearing is that these people, I mean, the base, people have already left the place. That is not the kind of story we want to hear. We want to hear our Nigerian security forces fighting back, I mean, crushing bandits. We're talking of bandits. It's not even a full-scale war, for God's sake. What strategy are we using? And the idea is to demoralize them. Demoralize the Nigerian security forces. I mean, if they know that people can just come in and then do whatever they like.
Take the game to them.
I mean, so you have to work in a way that you have to keep them guessing. The Nigerian security, their game has to be high above that of the bandits. What are we doing about that?
Martins, the other time, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, told us the banditry we're dealing with and the men that constitute the bandits and what have you, insurgents, are splinter groups from Libya. You understand? Yeah. They got recruited, and the festering ground is Nigeria.
You know that this is the problem we have been having now, when public officers we have elected to solve problems have become analysts of the problems we elected them to solve. We do not want to hear where they come from. Excuses. The responsibility of the commander-in-chief is to chiefly command his own chiefs and others to solve those problems, not all this analysis about where they come from. We know where they have come from. We have heard what. We would like to hear what is being done to crush this so that we move to development issues.
Yeah.
Now we are hearing about supplementary budget to deal with insecurity and what else? We are not hearing about supplementary budget to get people to produce vaccines. We are not hearing of a supplementary budget to develop one of the many teaching hospitals in Nigeria. Our own President and Commander-in-Chief is not in the country at this moment. It shouldn't be an elephant in the room anymore. It's a fact. It's not in this place because we do not have even one hospital that is working. That is why he's been treated. He's gone for examination abroad. So let's examine some of the implications of some of these things all the time. Insecurity, we are budgeting for insecurity. We are budgeting for problems that we should have left years ago. And I think it is not a good story for the country, and our political leaders should get worried about the fact that we keep talking about this problem. This is not the very first time they have sacked military bases. They have been sacking, obviously they have been killing so many of them, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And you know, you see one thing that is coming into our side. Recently at one of our editorial board meetings, even some of the elders who have been going abroad, one of them said, look, I've been going to so places in so many years. I haven't seen a soldier. What is happening now is still internal security. It should be the responsibility of police. We are not hearing about that one anymore. We are exposing our soldiers to something they were not trained to. You know,
that brings me to the question: what happened to that very vital element of security, intelligence? Before these people came and be able to, I mean, we can't hide from that. It was a successful raid on a military base of a sovereign nation. What happened to our intelligence synergy that would have forestalled this kind of thing? General Atahiru should not just be seeing this thing as a child's play. He has the onus is on his table. He has a very huge task to be able to say, what are we doing to be able to bring the agencies together to forestall situations.
Shola, I was just going to ask you. You asked for a change of service chiefs. We have new chiefs in the saddle.
Yes.
We can overrun these guys.
Definitely. And we have to say the guys there are competent to do it. But one thing is for you to have the ability, you have the technical power to do it. But if something is missing, and that is what we call a structure to be able to do this. Because you just mentioned that what's the function of police, what's the function of the other agencies, in being able to, even before these people get there, I mean, did they just come from heaven and just landed at the base? They didn't move through a particular route to that place.
From Libya.
What are we doing to be able to put to use what we've learned about prevention? You know, one thing is for you to be able to... But what have we been able to do to achieve that? Yes, we have a new structure. We can say these people are trying to maybe study the situation. But because of what we have, there is a clear and present danger that needs a kind of headlong approach. So people have to do something
about it. But you yourself, you
yes.
believe that our troops can override...
Nigerian troops. Let's look at the history. We've gone to so many countries. We were in Liberia, ECOMOG, we were in so many countries. And if you look at the report about these soldiers, we were put in the highest esteem, ratings about the performance of Nigerian forces. I have friends from other countries that will tell me, this is what your people do. I'm not saying there were no hiccups here and there, but that element of performance has always been there. So if you travel far and, wide, and then you're able to conquer, why are you not a conqueror in your own backyard? What is the problem? Is it a matter of strategy? But it's also coming. You know, somebody said recently, the battle goes beyond even people coming from Libya. We have to face it. You have to look at how we can curb the impact of the internal enemy. There are people, because for bandits to be able to reach this far, they must have local collaborators. What are we doing about those collaborators?
I talked about the prof, the governor.
If you don't give room,
mention this
if you don't allow certain elements to get around your community, there will be people they've used as spies, or who are also their agent, the cell groups who are within the community where they are operating. So all these things have to be taken into consideration. It's beyond just say they came from Libya. That excuse is not even enough for you, because whether they came from Libya or came from heaven, one thing is we have a real problem.
Shola, your first calling is that of a reporter, and you remain a reporter.
Thank you very much.
Your breath doesn't.
But this is, you know what? What's happening? It's so disgusting.
It's okay. It's okay. Martins, as we take this home, let's look at the charge of the Chief of Army Staff. He says enough is already too much. You trust him?
Well, I don't trust him. Because this is not the very first time we have had that kind of promise. We should trust him. But you know, when you keep promising and promising and promising, when hope is deferred, that is the word of God. When hope is deferred, it causes weariness.
Despair comes in.
So I don't trust him in the sense that we have had so many of these promises, even his own predecessor in office promised so many times. Sometimes they will say, okay, now they had been technically defeated. We're very close to this one. Oh, in 2 weeks' time, we'll do. We have been hearing of these promises, but the hope of getting victory has been long deferred.
Good.
And it's causing.
But for once, Shola, Martins, let's trust the Chief of Army Staff. Well, there must be a new impetus. Enough is already too much. That's what the Chief of Army is saying.
We give him a chance.
Let them fulfill the promises.
But he must prove to the nation that this, because they are trying to show us, the bandits are trying to show the nation they are invincible. If they can go to a military base and do that, but then he has to reverse that. He has to bring that confidence back. When we have confidence, then we'll trust him. We know it's just coming in, and we have to give it to him. But we need that sense of confidence.
Are you thinking of the political class that brought us this far?
They have their role to play. But a soldier should also know that he's a soldier. when everybody is talking about the performance of the past military chief, nobody even said they didn't do well or they did well. Whatever happens, everything will be on the neck of Atahiru. So it is now left to him to be able to really show that it can make a difference.
And he's ready to do that.
He's ready to do that, but he is not the only critical factor. Even we should also be asking the defense minister. There's a defense minister.
Yeah.
And there's a defense ministry.
And there's a national security.
There's a national security advisor.
Clearinghouse for all security issues.
So all of them report to the commander-in-chief. So we can ask a rhetorical question to round off. Where is the commander-in-chief in all this?
Well,
the answer
is blowing in the wind.
It's not blowing in the wind, please. General Ibrahim Atahiru has given his word. We'll take the word for a bond. Enough, we're saying, to the banditry. Enough is already too much.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to our second story. You know, the Southwest Regional Security Outfit known as Amotekun, that's the Yoruba word for the leopard, officially birds in Ogun State. Now, State Governor Dapo Abiodun gives the official seal to the outfit when he inaugurates the Amotekun Corps in state capital Abeokuta on Thursday, with provision of patrol vehicles, motorcycles, and necessary gadgetry. All seems set for the Amotekun to complement every effort to tackle insecurity in the Southwest region. Governor Abiodun named Professor Wole Soyinka Nobel laureate, super marshal of the Amotekun Corps in the state. This is a big catch.
A big catch. You know, it's good. It's a big catch. It's prominent and significant. In the sense that, well, but then it is still the same old story. They have used some money to equip these people. We believe that this is how it should be really at the local level. When we're talking all the time about community policing, about all those things, the other day we talked about 43 police forces in the UK that is not up to 100 million people. 43 forces.
And they hardly use guns.
They hardly use guns. You don't know. If you ask anybody there, who is your Inspector General of Police, you don't know.
I hear the IG in that place is called the Chief Constable.
Yeah, it's Chief Constable.
Yeah.
And they even elect some of them. At some levels, they elect some of them. The university system has, in a federation, we can't continue to depend on the central police. We have seen the capacity that they lack to police the whole country. 200 million people, all the time. Even the governors, as they have been saying recently, they have told the commander-in-chief that it is high time.
Yes, on paper we are chief security officers.
We are chief security officers.
But off paper,
let us decentralize the operations of the police force legally.
Yeah.
And it is not
so,
even...
So the Amotekun and Co. will be complementary.
Will be complementary. It's very good. The inauguration is very good. You know, it will be complementary. But then we should begin to contextualize this thing this way. That all this Amotekun, a supplementary budget for this thing, to fight banditry and all those things like that, we should begin to question.
That's the vehicle.
Yes, vehicle.
Yeah, the motorcycles.
All these things, we are budgeting for all these things when we should be budgeting for buses to take children to school. You understand?
Because security would have taken care of itself.
Would have taken care of itself. You know, we know they are doing this thing because security and welfare of the people is written in the Constitution, shall be the primary purpose of government. They're using this one to complement the effort. It's very good. It's a very good effort. But the governors too and the government of the federation should begin to address poverty.
Okay.
Poverty. Poverty.
And poverty.
And poverty.
Okay. Shall I, you know, this man is speaking in tongues today, but we understand the tongue, you know, but I talked about Professor Soyinka as a big catch in the sense that coming from years of yore, when he was the first Corps Marshal of the Road Safety Corps, I hope they keep him.
Yeah, I think one, it's a great catch for the Ogun State government, having somebody like Soyinka, apart from the issue of the moral, power is going to give to that. This is somebody who is internationally respected, is respected throughout Ogun State, and sometimes his word, whatever he says, it's going to be a way of inspiring even the core members, the Amotekun core members, to know that we have as our what they use for the something. The inspirational element is there, and it's also symbolic. Going back to what happened with the road safety corps, and the fact that he gave it a kind of, gave the core member
a character.
So that kind of thing too is going to be brought to bear on the Amotekun. But I want us to look at it beyond that. We need to back all the state initiatives with enough legal power to be for them, whether gadgetry you give them, the kind of gadget, maybe walkie-talkies and all those commonplace equipment that you're talking about.
They can't bear arms now.
Do these people have? Yes. But the point is, I know for how long. Let's just place it. For instance, let's say, supposing there is an attack from the so-called bandits, I pray that will not happen.
But
what do they really have enough?
In Nigeria are not so-called.
Okay, the bandits, the herdsmen, all those. Do these people really have enough firepower to be able to confront them? Are they just going to be placed within the realm of commonplace, what they're community police?
But they have told you, so they are complementary.
Complementary. Well, you mentioned a situation in Britain when you have almost 43. How complementary will they be when we already agreed that the Nigerian police is grossly and maybe abysmally inadequate for securing this country? So those are the things I want to chip in. And then the governors, they need to do enough to ensure that they can, the Nigerian Governors Forum, whether we like it or not, initially it was maybe the Southwest, but we have other regions that are now saying, no, we need to do something like the Southwest. Is there a way of making all the governors really come together and get to the National Assembly and make sure that there is a new, towards creating state police? Because we may have Amotekun, but Amotekun will always have its limits if there is no law backing Amotekun to be able to perform the necessary duty when the chips are down.
Martins, as an aside, the police in this country became scapegoated at the time.
Definitely. They became scapegoated, and they even destroyed them. They incapacitated them. But the truth of the matter is what my brother is saying here. There should be a conscious effort by the commander-in-chief to listen to what the people are saying.
Okay, listen to me. I have a Femi from Surulere joining us.
Okay.
Femi, good evening to you.
Oh, good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
So we all know that we need state police. And the problem is with the governors must come together, get the constitution amended, and they have their real forces to battle for their state. If you look at the whole 36 states of the country, it is the military that is maintaining order. And they are overstretched. Let the state government go for the adjustment of the constitution. The constitution, we have 6 zones in this country. 4 zones are suddenly behind having state police. The other 2, for political expenditure, they may shy away from saying yes, they want it. If you look at Niger State, they keep.
Okay. Femi, but he's made his point.
Yes, he made his point.
Quickly, let's talk about state policing.
Yes, that's
with all the trappings and so on.
All the trappings, no trappings. It's just a matter of attitude. It's just a matter of attitude and agreeing. Look at the conference report of Jonathan administration, 2014 report that is submitted, which he handed over to the successor. talked about all this decentralization, federalism, restructuring of the federation, decentralization of police as being a subject
Martins,
in a very long while.
We'll go on a break and come back. When we come back, we'll finish.
APC report.
He has talked about Jonathan's...
even the Erufai committee set up by the APC.
There had been 10 other conferences and 10 other reports. Please, we'll come back.
Yes.
After this break, we'll come back. Please don't go away. All right, don't forget our second story has to do with Amotekun. We told you Amotekun had been launched in full force with all the fanfare you can think about in Ogun State. Governor Dapo Abiodun also made and named Professor Wole Soyinka the Corps Marshal, Super Marshal of the Amotekun Corps. Professor has warned the Amotekun officers against abusing their powers, which is something, but let's share this with you now.
What people like me, and we stand ready to contribute, Mr. Governor, what we can contribute to this initiative is monitoring, advice, designs. We use our minds to see how physical initiatives can actually work out rationally. And I want the Amotekun team to understand that we'll be watching you. As the representative of civil society said, we'll be watching you very closely to make sure you do not trample on the rights of citizens. You've been created to assist them, to protect them, to be part of them, to live inside them, to gather information, to say to the police, the military, we cannot handle this, but we have seen this. Would you like to take a look and assist? You're not here because you now have a uniform to start behaving like some other security agencies who shall be nameless, the way they've been dealing. You're here to set an example, say that you are a civic unit. So, Amotekun, we're watching you. If you abuse your uniform, before Ogun strikes you, we would have dealt with you.
Straight to the point. Straight to the point. No embellishments. We are watching you.
Yeah, we're watching you.
As I said, Martins, agreeing to be the Corps Marshal of Amotekun in Ogun State is in itself something that brings joy, hope. Yeah.
It's a booster. And Wole Soyinka, as he was saying, we don't have to be repeating the story of how even a military president took him from a university where he was internalizing the idea of just good road use, good attitude. And then he took it as a federal institution, and it's now legalized. It's all over the federation. He did it, and anytime we want to talk to some of those road marshals about their excesses, we always refer them that they should remember the foundation. And how Professor Wole Soyinka started, and with Dr. Olu Aguloye, and all those people, they have had that one, that they should not destroy that foundation. And bringing Wole Soyinka into this mix is a big deal. It's good for the system. But as he said, it goes beyond that. Wole Soyinka is how many years old now? Is going to be a big daddy to everybody. But the big picture is this. He said something significant about, if you do something and if it is beyond you, you report to those agencies. I hope those agencies will accept them as complementary to their effort to do the job. I hope they will. Really, we should appeal to them through this medium that they should actually accept their complementary service.
All right, we have Olawale reaching us, or joining us, I should say, from Ikorodu. Olawale, how do you do? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Citizen Jones.
Welcome.
I greet you. Yeah. The establishment, I have two comments. The establishment of an inauguration of
Amotekun.
Okay.
Amotekun in Ogun
the
State.
establishment of
Amotekun in Ogun State.
Amotekun. Amotekun in Ogun State.
Okay, the line is a little naughty, but I'm not thinking for him. But shall I dare say he wants to say, Ogun State, keep Professor Soyinka.
Yeah, I think one thing from what the clip we just watched is Soyinka is an international man. He has seen policing around the world, whether national, whether regional, whether state or community. He has seen all. And he knows what it means when you talk of rules of engagement.
Yeah.
You are for the people. And you're not supposed to use your power inordinately over them.
Yeah.
We've
Because
had pockets
we're
of that.
watching you.
You know, Amotekun started from the level of respectability. It came riding the wave of necessity, popularity.
Which is the mother of
by popular
invention.
demand, like they say. And it would be terrible if the people that really demanded this now begin to bear the brunt of your excessive use of power. You have the power. But the professor, knowing him, is somebody who doesn't suffer fools gladly. When you misbehave, and that's why he was even invoking Ogun his own way, you know, that if you do something that is against the rule of engagement as a law enforcement officer, then something will be done against you. I think that inspiration is quite good enough for the Amotekun forces. Yes.
Okay. Martins, we take it home.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that it's not only Wole Soyinka, there are other significant figures in other states in Southwest who should also stick out their neck and be the Wole Soyinka in the state, in Ondo, in Oyo, in Lagos, in Ekiti. All those prominent citizens too should stick out their neck and come forward to be Wole Soyinka in their own state.
Yeah, but quickly, Johnson has joined us, I think from the north. Johnson, welcome.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Welcome. Let's go.
Yeah, what you guys are discussing there is a wonderful thing that will help the country. You see, the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, if we don't take out the business aspect of insecurity from the security operatives, all this noise, all these things we are trying to help with will just be a noise.
Johnson, do us a favor, break down business nature. What do you mean?
Yes, I will do that. You see, now, in Northeast, let me give Northeast as an example.
Yeah.
You see, in northeastern Nigeria, now only Northeast, you have over 5 major generals. You have the GOC, you have the theater commander, you have the sector commander who are all major generals, you have super camps who are brigadier
Johnson,
generals.
sorry, time is a master. Time is a master. Paraphrase it briefly.
Okay, so these guys are just after making money for themselves. The locations of Boko Haram are known. The locations of Boko Haram are known.
Okay. The locations of Boko Haram are known. And there's a rider, generals with business sense. You heard him very well. I hope I did.
He used the phrase, the business aspect of insecurity. That's really profound. And it's also a kind of wake-up call. The citizens are watching. I mean, people know there is no way the insurgents, the bandits, they are not spirits.
Oh, yeah, they are not.
They rose from the community.
Yeah.
So there must be people who know where they come from, where they emerge, the kind of, ideologies or situations that brought them to that level. And that means the element of, what do you call it?
The business?
Intelligence.
Yeah, okay.
In
It's
being
key
able
here.
to fish out. So the people know within those areas, they don't just come from nowhere.
All right.
So
All right.
that's the question.
Okay, Professor Wole Soyinka, all of us at this hangout wish you well. Okay, we'll go to our next and final story. You know, the federal authorities have disclosed that over 51 million Nigerians have so far enrolled for the National Identity Number, NIN. This leaves a deficit of 150 million Nigerians yet to be formally captured in the nationwide exercise. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, is said to have pronounced, I hope you got me right, a prison sentence of between 7 and 14 years in the cooler for the countrymen and countrywomen who are yet to comply. As far as the minister is concerned, it constitutes a criminal offense for any Nigerian to carry out any business activity in Nigeria without first acquiring the special number. Did he actually mention the 7 to 14 years imprisonment? Did he actually say that?
Reportedly now.
Reportedly, yeah.
Reportedly.
Okay.
Yes, it's reportedly, as we use in our own language of operation.
Or allegedly.
Yes. Now, he is reported to have said that. But let's look at what he has just said on a serious note. You know, this is a public officer. And I think we should begin to engage them on the power of public relations and orientation of the people. It is his own responsibility. If there is this deficiency of 150 million Nigerians, it is not the responsibility of a public officer to be issuing threats to citizens. They began this thing amid this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic. And so many people were worried about the implications of that at this time. Now, we've just started this thing. It's not saying that there is no report that people do not want to register.
Yeah.
We have had reports of difficulty in registering. And even some people,
from NIMC.
NIMC, even the workers are threatening to go on strike.
Yeah.
Now, some people, every day, you see them going from one place to the other. Some people even have errors to correct.
Yeah.
In the spelling of their names, or the other name is not there. They want to do this. There are difficulties. So at a time like this, what the public officer, the minister in charge of this operation, reported to have said this, should be doing is reorientation, telling people the value of
registering,
of having this national identification number.
That should be
and
more.
Yes, that should be more. That's what it should be saying.
More the message.
And appealing to the people that please, the difficulties you have had, nothing, you can quote even Bongo Sikwe, nothing good comes easy.
Yeah.
You understand? So he should be appealing to people to come out and endure some difficulties, but he should be stressing the value of what we are doing, not threatening people that will go to jail if you do not. That is not.
Just a minute. You know, a counter report came saying that the minister was misquoted, as always.
Well, when a public officer is cornered, after having committed, committing the tactical blunders, you know, that they do have. It is just like day before yesterday, you could see somebody who was supposed to be representing a public officer. I mean, just putting out nonsense in terms of
no, don't use such words. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just
no use them here. But go on.
But the bottom line is, you are trying to tell people. You know, sometimes intimidation in this kind of situation will not work. Okay. And I want to directly address the Honorable Minister that the strategy has to change. This thing is necessary, and Nigerians must know that it is necessary. Personally, not being able to identify somebody using your line, calling you with a phone, or being able to, even this idea of insurgents, there is this say from the government side that the bandits, the insurgents, they came from other countries.
Oh, yeah.
If you can identify people by being properly registered Nigerians,
Yes.
you'll be able to determine where everybody
So
is
be
from.
it.
Lagos is now, there's an influx of so many people. Let me even give you an example. Yes, the other day I went to the NIMC center to do my own registration. And right in front of that NIMC center
Ikeja here.
yeah, it's a man who has a kiosk. I had to take a drink from the place, and in the process, we started
You
exchanging.
paid for the drink.
No, I mean, the man was a commercial, he was selling drinks just
Okay.
outside.
Go on.
And we started chatting in Hausa. And I asked him, you're from which state of the Federation? He said, no, I'm from Niger Republic. Right in front of that place. But the man was honest. But somebody will tell me that maybe before
from,
you just
one
say
of
it's from
those
this,
states,
but he was
yeah.
speaking, he was honest. Now, how do you determine when you have in a place in Lagos now, so many people coming, the
Yeah.
borders are porous. So all these things are very necessary for us to be able to know who the true Nigerians are.
Yeah.
The issue of census, there are so many good reasons why we need to register.
Yes.
But please, for God's sake, don't turn it to a police state matter
Yeah.
where you have to be telling people they will go to jail when the enabling environment is
I'm
not
saying
there.
the minister reportedly.
Reportedly. Okay, reportedly. But if he actually said it, then the strategy is not working. Even if you are doling out jail terms, the number of years people will spend in jail if they didn't register. What about the officials of your agency that is making it difficult for people to even register?
Yeah.
How many years in jail?
Let me give you an example. I went there, I've done everything to register. I spent hours there, only for me to go and get my printout. They were telling me that the print something will not even come out.
Put simply,
so
you
are you going
not-
to put me in jail for not being able? No, I got it. I got mine. But
okay.
there are so many people out
Yeah.
there who couldn't
Now,
get
I be one say I go come see you.
Somebody who made that effort
Yeah.
to perform his civic duty, spent hours going to do that, is not able to do it. You now meet him in the public, you confront him, where is your registration? I mean, are you going to put him in jail for your own, incompetence?
Okay.
So there are
okay.
a lot of things to be put into consideration before you start, pronouncing jail times. for
Okay,
people.
okay.
It's
We
not done.
allegedly or reportedly, but Eddie has joined us from London. Eddie, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Citizen. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Let's go.
Good. Now, listen, I want to talk about what that gentleman on the screen on the left-hand side is saying.
Oh, Martins.
Because some time ago, last year in March, I was in Nigeria. In the process of trying to register my car, I discovered that there were a lot of Okada people trying to do some registration. And these gentlemen were all citizens of Niger State, all right? Hello, sir.
We're listening.
Okay, now, I now find out from one of the officials, how will these gentlemen identify themselves as Nigerians? With what documents? These are Okada riders in Nigeria today that we are saying they are criminals, they are committing one crime or the other. These are foreigners into our land. I mean, how do we identify them? With what documents? Like where I am here today, we need to identify ourselves with whichever document from Nigeria or whichever document to say this is our nationality. But in Nigeria, Nigerians will come in and say they are Hausas, they are this, they are that. You see, we have a lot of problems. We really have a lot of problems.
Okay. We'll leave it there. Martins, a colleague of mine begs the question of how did we get here?
Well, by design, we designed it. We are the architects of our fortune.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Don't use the other word.
We are the architects, but let's face the brass tacks.
Yes.
This thing, they say we are more than 200 million. And registering 200 million people within a short time is not a tea party. And I insist that whatever he said, whatever he didn't say, let's not dwell on whether he said anything. I would like to advise as a citizen that this is the era of democracy We have members of the state assemblies, members of national assembly. We have ministers. We have public officers all over the place who are representing us. They should go through those people to go to their constituencies to do the orientation. If it is possible to help with logistics and other things like that, to get people to register, because there is value in what they are doing.
Yeah.
They should emphasize the value, and those people representing various people who are registering, no spirit is registering, it's people. And we, all of us have representatives. You have a senator, I have a senator, you have a senator. All the producers have senators, everybody.
That's a sample of the card.
Yes.
That's
So all of us have representatives. Let Abuja people not be threatening people. They should get some strategy for mobilizing people to register. And they should help in logistics. If the people who are registering have problems, they should solve those problems. It is not about threatening people. They should get people to understand the importance of what we are doing.
All right.
It is not an essential commodity.
You are raising your temperature needlessly. The backroom boys say we must pack up and go.
Yeah, definitely.
But a word.
It's a time for everything.
Yeah, a word is enough for the wise.
Wise, yes.
Our business here is just to mold opinion and allow people make up their minds.
Definitely.
So, by the way, BKO is unavoidably absent. He was a year old last week. I don't know if he has gotten over it.
I expected to see my own arrears.
No.
Because that one has implications.
Jide will when he comes back, he'll do it.
Well, we have to congratulate him.
Congratulations.
Sure.
Many returns
Of the day.
Yes.
He's gradually becoming
has
an
implications.
old man. You know. All right, Shola Ojewusi, thank you for coming. Martin Zoloja, many thanks too.
Thank you.
On behalf of Backroom Boys, please enjoy your holiday, make the most of it. It's Easter one more time. God bless you. But do remember, on Sunday, the program is here from 1:30 to 3:30. Join us bright and early. The program is on YouTube as well, on youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones.